no money, that's an asshole. It wasn't a phase.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Senior Citizen Podcast, and here we have fieldmanworker.jpg, Opal.
Yes, hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Glad to hear it. I'm happy you could come out. I'm super excited.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
This is a milestone, because I was like, I need a show photographer. Like, this show is not just for bands, it's not just for, vocalists or whatever. It's for people who are also behind the scenes and making these people look freaking awesome.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate that.
I want to hear a little bit how you got started in the photography and, what told you, I want to do this at shows, because that's hectic.
It's really hectic, yeah. So it kind of came about in a super random way. I've always, been like behind the camera occasionally. Like I won a photography contest in middle school for taking a picture of a pot of flowers with my little digital camera. But I was on tour. I work for a nonprofit organization called Headcount. Anybody's maybe ever heard of Headcount? That didn't make sense. If anybody's maybe ever heard of Headcount.
I haven't, so what is that?
Okay, Headcount is a nonprofit organization that partners with bands, tours, festivals, concerts, community events all over the country.
Okay.
And we host nonpartisan voter registration drives and encourage democracy amongst fans. That is my spiel. So what I do for them is I'm a tour coordinator. So I go out on the road with the bands that we partner with, and I lead volunteer teams. I do a lot of training. I do a lot of on-the-ground work. So when I was out on tour last summer, I found out the news that I had just been contracted to go on tour with Panic at the Disco. So
For the Viva Las Vengeance?
Yes.
Tour? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was on that past tour, and it was the best thing ever. I love that band so much.
That band or Brendan Urie?
I mean...
No, I mean,
yes.
that's all it was at the end,
Right,
but yeah.
Yes, but the band, the rest of the band members of Panic at the Disco are incredible, and they're amazing humans. But while I was on that tour, I was like, I want to do more within the touring industry. And one of my coworkers was like, why don't you pick up photography or something? And I was like, you know what? That kind of makes sense. Why not? So I bought a camera off of eBay, just like a newer one. And all of my friends are musicians, and we've been in the local music scene forever. So I was like, hey, can I come and take some pictures of your show? And they were like, yeah, obviously. So I started doing that, and here we are. And now I'm just, shooting shows constantly, and it's a great time, and I love it a lot.
That's amazing. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think on your page, you say what camera you use and everything, which
yes,
by so many photographers freaking gatekeep. What lens they use. What's the point?
I know. I want to share everything with everybody, because I hate trying to find things, or people are like, oh, well, maybe it's this. And I'm like, I don't care, maybe. Just tell me what it is. And if you don't want to tell me, then fine, but tell me that you don't want to tell me.
Right.
So yeah, I use, if anybody's wondering, I use Canon EOS 2000D. It's a good beginner level camera. I bought it in a package off of eBay for $400, and it came with the camera and a flash and a bunch of lenses and all the things, and it's a great deal. It's not the most professional camera by any means, but it gets the job done.
Right.
And it's super great. And if anybody ever has any questions or anything, you can totally DM me and ask them, because I will answer them to the best of my ability.
I love that. No, I hate it when photographers are like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you guys what my gear is. Figure it out on your own. Don't copy my style. Don't copy. There's only so many pictures you can take in the world, dude.
I mean, there are a lot of things that you can do, but also some pictures are gonna end up looking similar.
Yeah.
Especially if it's multiple photographers shooting in the same venue, shooting the same band, things are gonna come out similar. But
for sure.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that you've been in the local scene forever. You've been friends with people in the local scene. So what was it like for you growing up? What places did you go to? What bands were you listening to? Because that's a big theme of the show, the nostalgia of being in the scene,
right.
Being a scene kid, whatever it was for you.
I didn't go to a lot of local shows growing up. I was kind of very much removed from the scene until really, okay, I did say been in the scene forever. I meant my friends have been in the scene forever, and then now I am part of that friend group. So I myself have not been in the scene forever. But within the last few years, I started going to all of my friends' shows and, you know, O'Malley's, Tough Times, Gramps, all of the places. But they're all really, really great places, and I love them a lot. And I love watching my friends perform, and I love meeting new people. I love meeting new bands and seeing them and just seeing everybody progress and do all the things and get better, and it's a great time.
No, it's amazing. What kind of music did you like listen to as a teen and whatnot, or were you not really into like the rock scene at all?
I totally was, like closeted.
Well,
like emo
obviously
kid,
Panic at
for
the
sure.
Disco.
Obviously, yeah. So I used to like put in my Little Mermaid earbuds after school during like theater rehearsals, and I would blast like Pierce the Veil, Sleeping with Sirens. Like that was my jam because that was my rebellion that I didn't tell anybody about. And I was like hardcore Pierce the Veil fan. I never went to any shows or anything because I wasn't really allowed to. Also loved Paramore. Paramore's my favorite band of all time.
I'm gonna see them when they come down. Okay, so funny story.
Please.
I got coerced into going to the St. Augustine show instead of the freaking West Palm one right here.
Oh my gosh. I almost went to the St. Augustine show when they were on their fall run.
Right.
And I didn't because I had a friend, a touring friend that had gotten me tickets possibly, but
right.
we couldn't figure out if they were actually waiting for me at the box office.
Right.
So I didn't want to drive all the way to St. Augustine just to find out that.
Oh shit! I'm seeing Paramore in Orlando.
Oh what?
I'm seeing Paramore in Orlando, but never mind.
So not St. Augustine.
Not St. Augustine.
Okay, cool.
I'm seeing Pierce the Veil in St. Augustine.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, same difference.
Cool.
Like just coerced because we obviously have shows in South Florida.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Let's make a whole field trip out of this.
I mean, might as well.
Right.
Road trips are great. It's a great time. So
I know that sucks. So I still would have driven up. St. Augustine's beautiful.
I know. I almost did. I like got in my car and then I was like, I can't. Do I really want to drive like 4 hours and like miss like a good chunk of the first part of the show just to find out that I might not have tickets to a sold out show? So
that's rough.
Yeah, I could have done it anyway for the memories, but oh well.
I've heard that St. Augustine amphitheater is like beautiful too. I haven't been.
So have I. Yeah, I know. I wish. Yeah, I'm sure I'll see it eventually, but I've heard that it's a very beautiful venue. Yeah,
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. So we had similar music tastes growing up. I was a lot less hidden about it. I had, you know, the stupid bracelets and
hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
the hair and all that stuff. But I had one of the previous guests. She was like the coolest 17-year-old ever because I was looking at her and I'm like, this is what I wanted to look like at 17. Gosh. Like, that's not fair.
Mm-hmm. I know. Kids now, like teenagers now I mean, like, good for them. Good for them. That is not how I looked when I was a teenager. I had like I let my friend cut my bangs in 8th grade. I had like red hair, but not like cool red hair. It was like bad red hair. And like paper thin eyebrows. It was a whole look and not a good one.
And what I hate is the people who can pull off the paper thin eyebrows because like, what superpower do you have?
Right. I'm still trying to like grow them back. I don't understand. And I, once again, happy for them. Didn't work for me.
Yeah, no, it's you win some, you lose some.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Also, I want to revert back to Panic at the Disco because I seemed like a total hater at the moment, and it's just because I loved Panic. I loved Panic's first album.
Okay.
Not everything, but most of the things after that were just a no for me.
Okay.
And then that's when you realize, like
mm-hmm.
when you read the Wikipedia pages, it's like,
right.
oh, that guy left.
Uh-huh.
That was a soul.
Mm.
But I feel like
everybody has opinions. Some opinions can be wrong.
Thank you.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Offend me any way you like. I honestly throw tomatoes while you're at it.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm kidding. I've heard all of the Panic at the Disco discourse. Of like, oh, what's your favorite album, or like all of the things of like, when do you think Panic at the Disco sound changed? Because like, you know, it's changed a lot throughout the years, but it's to each his own.
Yeah, I think the funniest part was I actually did go to the Viva Las Vengeance because Marina and the Diamonds was opening. I think she just goes by Marina now, actually.
Yeah,
I'm
she rebranded.
with her. I am obsessed.
Okay.
She is an amazing artist, and I went for her.
Really?
Nosebleed seats.
Oh my gosh, there were a lot of people that did that. I would watch, which was really sad actually, but I would watch like out on the concourse as soon as Marina's set ended, like a bunch of people just cleared out and left. And like they fully left. Was that you? Did you do that?
I didn't leave out of respect.
Okay.
Because it's still a show that
yeah.
they put on,
mm-hmm.
and I paid money to go.
Exactly. Did you see Jake Wesley Rogers? He was the first opener.
I did, and he was fantastic as well. I
I
signed
love
up
him
for
so
the
much.
text message thing to
Yes!
get they're like, well, we might
It's the
upgrade
Green
your
Carnation
seats.
Club. Yes. Oh yeah, yeah.
So I signed up for it, and every once in a while I get a text. It's like, hey, it's Jake, and I'm like, who's
So-
Jake? Oh, great marketing.
Oh my
Honestly,
gosh, yeah,
10 out of
it's
10.
great. He's one of my favorite artists on the planet. He's such a wonderful person. And
You could
a
tell
friend
the
now, yeah.
vibe.
Oh my gosh, he's like everything that he like presents is like who he's so genuine like that. He's incredible. And he is on his first headline tour at the moment. And the first 2 shows were in Tampa and Orlando. So I drove up and I surprised some of them and I was like, hello, I'm here, hi. And because we all became friends on Panic Tour. And I got to help them kick off their tour, and then I'm flying up to Nashville to close it out with them in a couple weeks. So
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's
Jake
super
Wesley,
fun.
you're invited to the show. You text me every once in a while. It's not you. It's your marketing team. It's amazing. They're
I
welcome.
do think he writes out the text.
Oh,
He
really?
doesn't like send it, but like I do believe that it is him typing out the text. Yes.
The text is so like, hey, bestie.
Yeah.
But that's so cute.
I love him.
Yeah.
He's great.
No, that's awesome. And then I was excited for Marina. I'm telling you, like, I went Electra Heart and everything. Like, I had the little heart drawn on my face. I was obsessed.
I love that.
And then when
it's
Panic
amazing.
came on,
She put on an amazing show.
She
looked
does.
fabulous every night.
Always.
I think she had a different costume every night, which I don't know how because there was so many shows, but she looked so good every single night.
and she pulls
she's
everything
just
off.
Everything. She could wear a paper bag and look hot. Like,
Exactly.
So good, so good.
Well, the funny part about that is that my boyfriend's also a big Marina fan. Like
Okay.
I'm more Electra Heart, and he's more the newer ones that were like a little more less poppy, more chill.
Gotcha.
But he still loved all Marina, and his boss happened to be at the concert too in a suite because the company they work at or
Classic.
whatever. And he texts my boyfriend. He goes, "I see why you like her," and I'm like, "I'm sitting right next to you. What is the point?"
Oh my gosh.
But true.
I mean, she's hot. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, can't deny that. She's gorgeous.
It's a
Absolutely
fact. It's
insane.
not an opinion.
Exactly. Right.
But
Wow.
then, no, I definitely stayed for Panic. I loved Panic's first album. I was obsessed with it. I could probably, I can't tell you the song titles because they're longer than
Right.
the lyrics themselves,
Right.
but
and they're not
I-
actually in the songs.
I listened to it from
Classically.
front to back. Even the
Yeah.
interlude. Like,
no.
I love that
know
album.
every single song off that album. I could not tell you what they're called. Like I can sing it for you. Can't give you the name.
Most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off.
Thank
Okay,
you.
well,
That
yeah,
is
we
my
know that
favorite
one,
song
yes.
by Panic at the Disco, which was
That's a good one.
inappropriate at the age that I was listening to it to. Thank you, Dan. It was on MTV Videos, and the video had the people with the fishbowl
Yeah.
head and then
Oh my
tipping over.
gosh.
And yes, I grew up with Panic.
We love that.
While he was playing the Viva Las Vengeance entire soundtrack, I guess,
Yeah, the whole thing.
together, some people behind me just start going, "Dude, you're known for some things, and it's not this."
Oh no. Oh, but it was so good. The album, the Viva Las Vengeance album is so good live. Like I will say the first time I listened to it on Spotify, I was like, "Oh, this is different." Like it was good, it was amazing, but it was just really really different. But like getting to watch it live every night I never got tired of it. It was just so good. And if you missed the tour because you didn't want to see the whole album live, then you missed out on Panic at the Disco's last tour. So that's on you.
Yeah, the funny thing is when they came out saying, "Oh, we're done," and then you
Yeah.
get the memes of the guy looking in a mirror and he's like, "Brendan Urie
Yes.
telling Panic at the Disco they're done."
I saw that was really that got sent to me a bunch of times.
It was a good meme.
Yeah, it was a good one.
But no, he's a showman for sure. Let me say the redeeming qualities. Compliment sandwich here.
Yes.
I'm just and it's basically like when you bring up Escape the Fate for me. Like if it's not the Ronnie Radke era, I probably don't know about it unless it's something the song something. But no hate against Craig Navid. It's just I'm very much still living 10 years ago.
I feel that. I do feel that. And if I wasn't on the tour, I probably would feel the same way. But like I have such a different love for them now, just as a band and as a entity.
And I think you appreciate it more when you see them working in front of
yeah.
you. Exactly. When you were working, were you taking pictures while he was like practicing and stuff too, or?
No, totally not allowed to. I mean, I guess I could have if I wanted to, but like I didn't want to overstep. But I did get to take pictures during the show for the whole tour, which was super cool. I wasn't there as a photographer. I was there as a completely different job, but like my job ended for the night once Panic came on stage. So I got to just watch the show every night and take pictures, and it was super great. It was the best time.
amazing.
Yeah.
So, as a show photographer, what is like your dream like band or person to follow?
Oh gosh. I've never actually thought about that. Just anybody with like really good energy, because anybody, and that's always what when I talk to bands before I shoot them, is just like, as long as you've got energy, the pictures are going to come out good, because that's what is portrayed, is like the energy and the emotion, and like that's what makes a picture good. So I really don't know. I guess I'll think about it after this. But yeah, just anybody that you can tell genuinely loves performing.
Okay. I love that.
So I don't know. There could be so many.
The fangirl in me would be like, Sleeping with Sirens!
Yeah.
I want to see them up close.
I know. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, maybe Pierce the Veil. Who's to say? But what I really want to do is like grow along with a band. So I guess that's really my dream, is to be working with a band, and like they take off and I jump in with them, and like I'm with them for the whole ride, and I get to capture every part of their career. Like that's the goal.
That's amazing. And I could see that turning into like actual like photography books and stuff in the future.
Yeah.
Like this was so-and-so's band's beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
I see you work with Fast Walker a lot and those guys. So are they part of your little friend group? Or
I consider them friends now. I met them in
Can you
January.
imagine it? They're coming on soon. Can you imagine if they're like, that's not my friend?
That would be
so hurtful.
So hurtful, because they pummeled me on Friday. So I actually have a story. I'm coming after you, Fast Walker, right now. No, I'm kidding.
They haven't even talked yet, but you know.
On Friday, and I asked them if I could tell this story, and he said it was okay. But on Friday, I was shooting their show at Black Flamingo, and right at the end, the lead singer, Nico, got up on the bar, and he was like, jumping around on the bar. It was great. And I looked up, and I could tell that he was about to jump off the bar. So I was like, oh, let me get out of his way, because I don't want to get like jumped on or kicked or anything. So I ducked down and I ran. And he had the same thought of like, I'm going to jump, but I don't want to hit her, so I'm going to jump over her. We ended up in the same spot. He landed right on my head.
Oh, no.
I smacked into the floor. My chin went into my camera. It split it open. It's like glued back together.
I see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like hit my elbow really hard. There's a video. I got the video. He sent me the video earlier. It's really funny. It looks like I got WWE like fake body slammed. It's so good. Because I like hit the floor in such a funny way. But
all that aside, are
crazy.
you okay?
I'm totally fine. Yes, I was laughing the entire time. Like it was just like pure adrenaline at the time, and like it doesn't even hurt. Like it hurts when I hit my elbow on something, but you know. No, I'm totally fine. I thought the whole thing was comical. Really, it was a good moment. It was a great end to the set. It was like the last end.
That was the last song.
The last song of the night. They ended right at like 11 o'clock on the dot. With me getting body slammed into the ground. So it was a good night, all in all.
Regardless, I hope that would have been the end. Like, even if it wasn't the last song, now it is.
I mean, I could have taken pictures, my chin still bleeding. I would have gone for it. I would have just like held something here and just continued.
Oh man, no. That's amazing.
You sent me a DM, and you were like, "Hey, do you want to come on the show?" And I was like, yeah, and then I went to go inside, and then that's when it happened, and then I came back out, and then I was like, I would love to come on the show. I'm not busy anymore. So
what I love was that I was like, this girl's on a work mindset at all times. I'm like, do you want to be on the show? She's like, yeah. What am I shooting? I'm like, nothing. You're just on the show.
I was like, oh, I'm a guest. Oh, that's cool. I'm not used to people wanting me to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, no, that's the point of it. I want everybody to see it. The show's for everybody, because I sometimes get questions where it's like, does it have to be a whole band? It's like, no, it could just be people.
Could just be the random photographer that walks around at your show.
It could be the photographer. It could be the booking agent. It could be the producer. It could be anybody. Like I don't care. I want to talk to people who are supporting the scene, who are enthusiastic about it. Like
I saw the episode with Lost Claws. That was great.
Exactly. Lost Claws doesn't play anything. She makes amazing nails. Like I love
oh my gosh,
her nails.
after I watched the episode, I like looked it up, and she's amazing.
Yes. No, and then her story's so moving, and she's just out there supporting. You could see her at the front row of all these local shows, just banging her head. She doesn't care who it is. She's out there supporting. She's the sweetest person ever. I love you, Lost Claws. Just
I love
another
you
shout
too.
out.
I want to be your friend. Can I be your friend?
You absolutely can. I think she's willing to be friends with everybody. But yeah, no, whenever anybody tells me that they hit their head, I go into sudden like panic because it was actually about a year ago that I hit my head and I had a concussion.
Oh, no.
That's why I'm like, are you
my
okay?
gosh,
But you
yeah.
obviously remember what happened because that day's a
yeah.
blur for me.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What'd you do, if I can ask?
I think, so apparently what I was doing, my mom afterwards told me, she was like, no, you were actually doing that. And I was like, oh, it felt like a dream.
Ooh.
I was looking for my AirPods. And it was a time in
Classic.
my life where I was very stressed. I was finishing my master's. I was still working. I was working from home. I was panicking, whatever, this and that. And I tripped over something, hit the back of my head.
Oh no.
And I don't remember anything except that when I like came to, I had the hospital bracelet on because I had
Oh my
gone to the
gosh.
hospital, got an MRI, everything. No recollection
No
of it.
recollect. That's insane.
Looking back through text messages, I let my boss know. Like, my message was, I hit my head, LOL. She's like, please go to the hospital. I was like, I am. I'm just letting you know.
Oh my gosh.
She
She sent a text message. She let her boss know that she was gonna be out
no,
of
I
work.
texted my boyfriend, can you come get me? I think I hit my head and
Oh
I
my
think I should go to the
gosh.
hospital. While I'm in the waiting room of still like COVID restrictions.
Uh-huh.
So only my mom went in with me, and he texted me, I think, like 10 times. He's like, tell the doctor this. And I was like, wow, this feels like deja vu. And then he would send me the same message again, like, make sure you tell the doctor this. And I was like, okay. And he's like, did you tell the doctor it? No. Sends me the message again, make sure to let the doctor. It was insane.
Oh my goodness.
So whenever I hear anybody hits their head, I'm like, please tell me you're genuinely
Yeah.
okay.
I am genuinely okay. And
We're going to give you elbow pads for the next show.
yeah, probably. And yes, but I'm genuinely okay. I have had a concussion before. I ran into a wall.
Oh, no.
Intentionally, but not intentionally. It was like like an American Ninja Warrior. They run
Yes.
up the wall at the end. I was a summer camp counselor, and I was like, I'm gonna show these kids how it's done. Ran full speed at the wall, smacked right into the wall, peeled off it like a cartoon character, rolled down the ramp.
Oh, no.
It was bad. But I was fine. Maybe.
Right.
Who's to say?
I hope so.
Yeah. I am totally okay. I'm positive.
Well, I mean, in general,
Sure.
you're doing very badass things because I see that you're. So my boyfriend was laughing at me because I was like, she's an archer, but for some reason, like the
yeah.
word wasn't coming to my head, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, she does arching. He's like, archery, and I'm like, yeah. But
You are not the only person that is that, because it's like a niche sport, so
Yeah.
people don't know
No.
like what the terms are. So
no,
and
but
that
I
makes
knew it
sense.
was archery.
Yeah.
But I'm like, she does archery.
That's
I've been
funny.
hopped up on pain meds and antibiotics all week, so I got my wisdom
Feel
teeth
that.
removed. So I
Oh
was
my
like,
gosh. Wow.
yeah. But I
Well,
was like, she does this. She's so cool. Tell me about that, please.
oh my gosh. It's just a really cool. It's a cool thing. I love it so much. I always thought archery was super cool. I shot for the first time when I was like 5 or 6 at a church camp somewhere. And then I shot again at a summer camp in like middle school. And I was never really allowed to like pursue it, or really never like gave myself the opportunity to pursue it because my parents were not very big fans of weapons in any sense. So then a couple years ago, I was like, I'm an adult. I've got my own money now. I'm going to buy myself a bow. And I did. So I went on eBay, my favorite, and bought a recurve bow, which is like what you see in the movies. It's what Katniss shoots in the Hunger Games. It's like the one piece, one string, and a set of arrows and a target. And I got it on eBay for $50 and it was great. And I started shooting. And then after that, I became an archery technician as a job. And then I started shooting in tournaments, and I've been doing it ever since. I'm actually technically a state champion, and I also in a different division, I'm ranked second in the state for
crap.
indoor shooting, which is at 20 yards. There's a whole different. There's a lot of different like.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a
rules
lot
and
of like
regulations. Yeah.
yeah, like little subdivisions
Right.
and stuff. But that's so freaking cool.
Thanks. It's really fun. I've got a couple more tournaments coming up, so I have to get back to the range and start training again. But
That's insane.
It's
No,
a
I
good
was like, I told my boyfriend, I'm like, I'm gonna ask her if I can go with her, and he was
you
like,
totally can. Oh my gosh, I will
yes,
teach you to
vlog
shoot.
coming soon.
Yeah. Oh
He
my
was
gosh.
like, you can literally scrape the skin off of your arm, and I was like, yeah, but I won't do that.
See, okay, you can. You totally could because I've done it. But I'll give you an arm guard, and it's fine.
Look at that.
Problem solved.
We'll be safe.
Mhm.
Safety
and I'll
first.
teach you how to hold it so that you don't do that. Because I don't like slap my arm anymore. Because once you learn how to hold it, you typically don't do that anymore. So
So excited for that.
yeah. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be great. It'll be a fun little time.
Yeah.
I love teaching people how to shoot. It's so fun. It's the best.
Is it like therapeutic for you?
It really is. Yeah. And I haven't been to the range in quite some time, and I really need to get back. So, why pay for therapy when you have archery?
There's
Don't.
there
That's
was a
not.
there was a
You should go to
TikTok.
therapy. Everybody should go to therapy. But
There was a TikTok where the guy's like, I need a vacation. And he's like out in the Grand Canyon. He's like, I needed therapy, but this will do.
yeah,
But
I
anyway.
feel that. Hmm.
So I have a fun little game.
Oh boy.
And I don't know if you've seen in the recent episodes, but it's a who will win.
Okay.
And basically, my favorite subgenre of these. Ants have suddenly become bloodlusted. Can humanity survive? So,
Okay.
round one is just a common black ant. Not
Okay. Oh,
ants.
I thought that was the question. Like you were just asking me if humanity would survive if ants became.
Yeah, like
bloodlusted,
who
just
would
generally.
win? Ants or
Oh.
humans? If ants are bloodlusted.
Oh, ants. There's
Ants.
like so many. I've seen it somewhere, but there's like, I don't know, a crazy amount of ants for every person that's on the earth. So there's like trillions of ants on the earth.
2.5 million ants per person.
That's the one. That's exact. Yeah, ants for sure.
For sure.
Go ants. I'll pledge my loyalty to the ants right now. I'll do it. Don't eat me.
I think a decisive factor in this would be is like, do we know when this is going to happen? Because that would give
Ooh.
scientists like time to come up with like a
That's true.
something to
like if we-
exterminate them that wouldn't like kill us in the process.
Yeah. Like if we knew that it was going to happen, then sure, human. Well, if we knew that it was going to happen and then we took the proper steps to stop that from happening or to defend ourselves.
We saw how the pandemic went. I don't.
Ooh. Well, maybe if we weren't in America. Who's to say?
I just thought of how infinitely worse it could become if it was mosquitoes instead of
Oh
ants.
gosh.
That's
yeah.
violent.
Yeah. Oh, remember when the Zika virus was a thing and like everybody was freaking out?
I think every
More
once in a
than-
while it becomes a thing again, doesn't it?
Does it?
I think.
I don't know. I mean, we don't really have the best track record of like containing viruses, so
True.
I wouldn't know if it became a thing again because why would I hear about that, I guess?
True.
It
Well,
probably has. It's probably a thing right now and we don't know.
yeah, I feel like every once in a while we get like a short epidemic where they're like, oh, careful with this, but it's just like swept under the rug. I don't know.
Oh my
It could
gosh.
just be
I
me.
mean, I fully believe you because that makes sense that the general population probably would not have heard about it.
Basically, but I as well pledge my loyalty to the ants.
I'm glad.
I think they're gonna win. There's too many of them, and
It's true.
if you can't beat them, join them.
That's true. Good philosophy to have.
This is your shameless plug moment. So I don't know
Oh,
if you
boy.
have anything that you want to promote, anybody you want to shout out, or just what you want our audience to know.
Oh boy. Well, you can find me on Instagram at fieldmanworker and also at fieldmanworker.jpg. Fieldmanworker is my personal Instagram. If you want to book me for a show, you totally can. Just send me a DM, send me an email, any of the likes. I would love to come to your show. I will headbang in the front row, I promise you. And go see local music, go see live music and do all the things and have a good time and don't care what people think and stop making yourself smaller to fit into a box that was never built for you because women in that was a turn. I took a turn. It's a male-dominated industry.
No, I love it, and that's why I'm here
Yeah.
hosting this. So
Exactly. Yes,
I love you for
I
saying
heard
that.
you saying that on one of the episodes. So, yes, we love being a woman in a male-dominated industry and constantly getting stepped on. But it's super great because then you can prove everybody wrong, everybody wrong, and not stumble on your words.
I love it. That was so positive.
Thank
We
you.
all stumble on words. It doesn't matter.
true.
And I'm hopefully going to see you at more shows. And thank you so much for coming on
Absolutely.
on this show.
Thank you for having me.